Helsinki and some big time games, big time results, big time performances. This is what we have for you today, starting with the Lions of Belgium going up against Great Britain, followed by Serbia and Latvia, and the nightcap will be Turkey and Russia. Well, I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Josh Davis. And Josh, this is what it's all about. You see the respective rankings for these teams. Of course, Serbia up high there. You know, they finished runners-up at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 2014 and also at the Olympics. And you see Great Britain and Belgium down at 22 and 44. And I'm not sure how much to read into those rankings, especially with Belgium. I mean, in my mind, right now, currently, this is a team that is easily in the top 25 in the world, if not higher.
That is definitely a bold statement, Jeff, but I will not disagree with you. This is a team with a lot of promise. They come into this tournament with a lot of confidence, obviously having some major, solid games from the preparation games this summer. Obviously a big victory against Spain earlier, about 3 weeks ago. So they're excited to be here, but obviously you can't underestimate Team GB.
Well, Axel Hervel and the Lions, they've been at this competition, really. This is the fourth consecutive participation. So a big moment for them. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Istanbul, Turkey. It's the FIBA EuroBasket 2017, and it's the opening game between Great Britain and Belgium here in Group D. And a lot of preparation time for both of these teams all summer long, and now it's time for them to come out and to get the job done. And really, as we look at the Great Britain team being introduced, you see a lot of experience in that team, but kind of unknowns. I think what perhaps now people realize about Great Britain is they can come out and compete really against anybody. They're going to have to work hard to beat this British team.
No question. It is definitely a little bit of a balance of experienced players with some youth. We'll definitely talk about some of the players to look out for here shortly as we take a look here at Belgium being introduced.
But you have a history with Belgium, having grown up there.
I do.
You've played with a lot of these guys.
I have indeed. So I am kind of torn here, obviously living in London, but being a Belgian citizen, and I'm excited to see both these teams compete. One thing about Belgium for sure is, again, similar to Great Britain, they have the experienced guys, great youth at point guard, and a lot of times youth tends to signify inexperience, but that might not be the case here today.
Well, we watched both of these teams train yesterday. Really impressed by the sort of focus of Belgium. Concentration, business-like approach as they came out and appreciating his skills. It's also impressive things as well for Great Britain as they got ready for this game. And we're going to have a pause in the commentary as we have the playing of the national anthems for both teams.
And now Belgium, Belgica Ulusal Marşı. Thank you. Teşekkür ederiz. In the tradition of international basketball, the players will now exchange games. Uluslararası basketbol geleneğine göre
Okay, the national anthems have been played for both countries, and now the players, in that time-honored tradition, will go out.
It's a great tradition.
Meet each other at midcourt.
You gotta love the sportsmanship that you see in these international competitions. A lot of pride, obviously, when you play for your home country, but it's still about the sportsmanship and promoting this great game of basketball here.
Absolutely. What about these three guys? These are the referees today: Lanzarini, Ferdinand Pascual from the Philippines, and of course Sanitas from Greece. There they are, and perhaps the less we talk about them, the better.
For sure, and it's a very, very experienced officials crew. Obviously we're in the hotel with the officials, so we know they're very excited to be here, and it's great to see the officials from all over the world. Basketball is just incredibly international.
So we're going to now have rosters for both of these teams. Great Britain, Andrew Lawrence, terrific qualifying campaign last year. Anybody else stand out for you in Joe Prunty's team?
Yeah, I mean, Dan Clark for me is going to be, the go-to guy most likely. He had 25 points in their last win against Israel. UCC starting five here alongside Luke Nelson, Teddy Okorefor, Gareth Murray, Gabe Olasini, and obviously Dan Clark, who we just mentioned. Luke Nelson, maybe the future of Team GB here for a very, very long time. Very exciting player, coming off 4 years of NCAA action, Conference Player of the Year in the Big West. So we are very excited to see him here in his first senior national team debut.
And now we're going to look at the Belgian roster as well. And, Sam van Rossum, Axel Hervel, but Manu Lecomte perhaps ready to have a big EuroBasket.
For sure, and then he's going to be the matchup to look out for, going probably facing off with Luke Nelson. He averaged 20 points per game in international competition, obviously under 20s level. He won't be starting. He'll be coming off the bench here, starting five. Coach Castillo's decided to go with the veterans, Jonathan Tabou, John Salumu, Jean-Marc Moema for a little bit of a bruiser action, Alex Hervel, and then Kevin Toumba inside. So it's going to be a big starting five, and obviously Sam van Rossum and Emmanuel Lecomte coming off the bench for the Lions.
Interesting, a lot of those Belgian guys play in Spain, have played in Spain. Which is one of the top leagues in Europe, and that speaks volumes about where their program is and how it's kind of risen in the ranks. Joe Prunty has a lot of coaching experience in the NBA. Here you have Sam van Rossum and Andrew Lawrence, two players that we wanted to highlight. Look at the experience of van Rossum. Just won a title as well in Spain with Valencia Basket. Led them in scoring at the last EuroBasket. Did van Rossum. Andrew Lawrence, we talked about him leading him in scoring in their qualifying campaign when they went 3-3, and also one of these British players that has that Olympic experience, and that's something that Belgian players would just give anything to experience.
Granted, the 2012 Olympics being hosted in London, helped out with that. But Andrew Lawrence is definitely a veteran. He's very experienced, and we expect him to have a big game here in the opening
and recognize
game
on the
of
entry whether it's Clark or a guard to find that quick hit on the curl. All right? Hey, team, you're in your one play. You're in your one play, and we will let you know when we send you to the corner. Okay? First is the regular one. Let's go. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Belgium.
I always love hearing the coaches right before the game. And Castillo's, he has a respect of his players. He's experienced. He's been with the program since 2005. Here we see Joe Prunty, the Team GB coach. Coach Prunty here, an American citizen, but has really helped, obviously help the GB qualify here, and as we saw in practice yesterday, got these guys ready. Had a chance to speak to him before the game actually, and he's really, really excited. Mentioned, the fact that he might have to deal with a little bit of adversity early. Obviously, it's the first game, some nerves. But obviously, we don't want any sloppy play here. We want to have, a very, very exciting game of basketball.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Istanbul, Turkey. It's FIBA EuroBasket 2017, and it is the Group D game between Great Britain in the dark, the blue, going up against Belgium in the white, and it's Belgium, the Lions, or some will call the Red Devils, have won the opening tip. Ravel has the ball in the corner, and a foul. Okorea for holding, it appears. So a little bit of hand checking. And picks up his first foul for GB.
Referee setting the tone early there.
Absolutely. So Taboo over to Hervel, and Hervel is shot off the back of the iron. One-time player, Bilbao, former NBA draft pick, Hervel. Dan Clark. Another player has a lot of experience in Spain, Olasene. Correa 4 now. Shot clock down to 5. And they're going to need him to create. And Okorea dives on the ball. Mwema picks it up and gets it over to Taboo. Now Salumu. And a little bit of switch here for Olaseni. Now goes out and tries to get a hand in the face of Taboo. And Gareth Murray grabs the rebound. And now quickly to Olaseni, and a foul down low. Olaseni had good position. Taboo commits the foul.
And you always want to reward the big men for running the floor there. Okorea looking up. Getting the early position for Olaseni. You see here on the replay. Taboo obviously a bit of a mismatch inside.
Quick pass to Nelson, and he goes up and he does what he does. He scores. That's what he's known for.
And that's going to be great for Luke there, getting the first basket of the game here for either team. Obviously still a young player, but showing no signs of nerves here.
You mentioned it. He's played NCAA tournament. 4 years of college basketball. His dad, former pro. It's a proud moment for him watching his son play for Britain. And the drive and 2 shots. The Filipino referee. And the reach.
Final goal on Luke Nancy. First personal foul, Billy Jabbar,
Nelson. He picks up his first. So Taboo's been very involved. We said his name a lot here early. And Prunty with a look of disapproval there, a little frustration. Perhaps thinking the game's being called tight.
And Nelson is known as a pretty good defender. You notice he has some really long arms at the guard position. Should be able to stay in front of his matchups, but obviously drew that early foul there.
Now Murray to Dan Clark. He gets it into Olaseni. And Olaseni takes his time, gets his feet set, and goes up strong.
Great high-low action there with Dan Clark with the feet inside. Olaseni very, very active here early.
Salumu drives, leaves his fade, passes it out to Taboo. Going down to 5. Tumba sets the pick and rolls, but Taboo's going to put up. And the tip. It was an impressive putback from Tumba.
Tumba is he's a big man as well. And we did talk about this yesterday during the practices that size and offensive rebounding will be a key point here in today's game. Neither team really that deep inside.
And Nelson scores his second basket. Knocks it, gives Great Britain the lead, back up at 6-4.
That's a great move by Nelson. 2 for 2 already early on, right by the basket too.
Now Salumu, and his pass intercepted by Okorea, who quickly pushes it, forgets the ball, goes back and gets it. And now Nelson for 3. I suppose he's one of those players that's going to have that green light whenever he's open, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not afraid to shoot the ball, and he's been a scorer pretty much most of his life since playing for the Reading Rockets there in England basketball.
Nice drive from Hervel. Clark with a challenge, but again, Tumba already starting to become a factor on the offensive glass.
2 offensive rebounds, back-to-back possessions for Tumba. Got to get a body on him.
Clark. Deep 3 for him, and tickles the twine.
You mentioned it early on, Jeff. He has absolute range on that jump shot, a feathery touch.
They will know, Hervel will know him because Dan Clark also has played a lot in Spain. Just signed a contract to play in San Sebastian, up in the north of the country, as part of the world. Hervel now for three, and he rattles in the three-pointer.
Like he heard you, Jeff. He called him out. He wanted to get back at him.
And Okareafor drives in. Good read there by Nelson and picks up the ball. It looked like it was going out of bounds.
Nelson very, very active, obviously. Good awareness here. Able to hit a little push shot on the baseline.
And Wema feeds Tumba. And he does a little double team, gets it back to Taboo for three. It's good. And now the team's starting to heat up a little bit.
Absolutely. After kind of a first 90 seconds were a couple turnovers and missed shots, now we're seeing threes on 4 straight possessions.
Clark bounce pass, beautiful play by Clark, and Olaseni does well, just rolls to the basket. Tumba, out to Mwema, now Salumu. And a foul. Gareth Murray raises his hand, and it's becoming somewhat problematic for Britain, keeping the Belgians off the boards. Serron has checked into the game.
That was some good offense there by the Lions. A good ball movement, and even though Salumu couldn't knock down the shot, it was wide open. So Castillo has to be happy with what's going on here in the last couple of minutes.
Wayman from the left, and that was a man's rebound right there from Olaseni. Also, Andrew Lawrence comes in for Nelson. Okareafor drives in, puts it up and in. He's got a chance for a three-point play. Goodness me, this is a confident-looking Britain team when they've got the ball.
Number 6.
Yeah, they're doing a great job getting to the basket, either on penetration as well, pick and roll.
About these substitutions here early on for both teams.
Yeah.
Again, Okareafor.
Yeah, interesting taking Nelson out of the game there after his quick 6-point start.
I suppose he wants to get Lawrence in there as well. Might be one of the strengths of this British team is that backcourt. Not sure you would have said that before this summer. 3 guys that perhaps need to play a lot of minutes. We highlighted Lawrence. I mean, led him in scoring in the qualifying campaign last year. He's Taboo. And boy, he is money in the bank right now.
And he's an experienced guy. He's been around the program for plenty of years, so you know we expected to see this kind of early start for him.
7 points for Taboo. And Lawrence, he drives, takes a little contact, and no call.
That's some pretty good defense there by Serron coming right off the bench.
And now the pass off the hands of Hervel. And Hervel says, might need to come out of the game, coach. So we're going to have a timeout as you look at this play again. Taboo's pass. What's wrong with that pass?
Well, we always say if you're able to get your fingertips on it, you should be able to catch it. He was probably thinking about the defensive help there coming by to challenge the shot. You got to catch the ball first.
So the game has lived up to expectations. Close, tight, got timeout.
With Max,
listening to Coach
you work
Castillo.
on that switch. He rolls, but get the inside here. Into Clark, be ready to go. They work sometimes on that big-to-big situation. Okay? On Johnson, you know what to do. But we have to respect their offensive mind. They can create, they can execute.
To his left, made a couple of shots, but we're fine. Switches are good. Okay, just keep him in front, contest the shot, rebound and run. Let's go floppy. Go floppy hat. Floppy hat right here. Here we go.
Defense.
Okay, so we're about to see what floppy half is. I know you're not supposed to be flopping out there on defense.
That's a great play call.
This is Dan Clark, and one of the veterans, Mr. Reliability, perhaps, shows up for business and has that stroke.
Yeah, his combination of size and skill is definitely going to be the big thing that GB is going to be looking for here tonight.
So Olaseni and Clark stay in the game. Tumba takes his seat, so I'm sure Great Britain will be glad about that. He was a real menace. Johnson on the baseline, and Saron with the rebound, tries to push it quickly.
And DeZoy's coming in the game here for Arvel.
Van Rossum also in the game, and Gillette. And here is Giselle, and he goes up. Giselle gets fouled.
This is also Maxime DeZoy's 4th EuroBasket. If you would have told me that 15 years ago when I was living in Belgium, that Belgium would be qualified for 4 straight EuroBaskets, I don't know if I would have believed you, but it's a great testament to Castells and the program he's developed here.
Yeah, Belgium have really established themselves. They've got a plan about how they've bring everybody together at the start of the summer. They get the youth involved. To let them know what the program's all about. Rub shoulders with the veterans so that they just kind of gradually find their way into that senior team. So as always, free throw is good.
That's a great point you just made there, because you want to establish a culture, no matter what kind of team you have, but especially with the national team.
Lawrence step back for 3. Olaseni kept it alive, but DeZoy with the rebound. Saron over to Taboo for another 3. This one a little too long, and boy, Belgium right now are just beasting Great Britain on the boards.
Well, that's the second time that Kyle Johnson's found himself having to either box out or trying to defend the post up from DeZoy. And if you notice, that's a sizable difference there in their height and also the weight.
Yeah, just a complete mismatch there. So anyway, Dan Clark is now going to take his seat, and Kieran Achara, the captain, checks into the game for Great Britain. And DeZoy making a real impact coming off the bench. There's Achara. And DeZoy makes both free throws.
One thing about DeZoy, he shoots around 90% from the free throw line in international competition. That's, for a big man, that's quite impressive.
Van Rossum guarding Lawrence, 2 guys we highlighted before the game. And again, Lawrence drives to the lane and scores. He's not getting any help from the refs, is he? Twice getting contact. And then they call holding at this end on Johnson.
2 quick fouls here for Kyle Johnson, and that's going to take him out of the game.
Look at this. That's a good no call from the ref, really. I mean, kind of incidental contact. Good D from Van Rossum.
GB getting a lot of their offense driving right, if you've noticed, especially with Lou Nelson earlier, now with Lawrence. We'd expect a little bit more help defense from the Belgians.
Well, where Belgium are really starting to hurt. Wow, 3 fouls on Johnson. And won't be seeing him again until the second half. Belgium having a lot of joy at the free throw line, doing a lot of damage already. And
8 for 8.
Yeah, that's impressive. Compare that to 1 for 1 for GB. And now Van Rossum this time is called for the foul. Lawrence using the screen.
A lot of people weren't sure if Van Rossum was going to play this tournament, right? He's come off an injury.
Amazing. Had an operation at the end of last season. Back in May it was. He had the operation. Here's oh, what a follow from Olaseni. Okorafor is doing a terrific job of putting the ball on the deck and getting to the basket. You heard Eddie Castells addressing that issue. Have to respect their individual skills. But the problem for GB at this end is keeping Belgium off the glass. Here's Van Rossum, shot clock winding down. A beautiful pass, Van Rossum. And now a push right at the end of the shot clock has been called on Okorafor.
Coach's nightmare.
So second on him. Here it is again, Van Rossum. Good call. Looked like he kind of led with his left shoulder. And this is, they're putting on a free throw shooting clinic, Belgium. I mean, they're not missing. 9 of 9. Almost half of their points have come at the line.
And they're not even hitting the rim on any of these, just nothing but net.
And Taboo, meanwhile, is had a lightning quick start. He's approaching 4-4 at the line. 9 points.
Do you think Castells is keeping LeConte for the second quarter as a change of pace kind of guard?
I
Obviously
don't know. I mean, the way Taboo's playing right now, we might not see Manu LeConte. Chara pulls up at the line, puts it up, and nails it. Lefty. How about that for the veteran?
Yeah, nice move here, a little mid-range jump shot. And that is not an easy shot for anyone.
He's a scorer, though. Now Saron puts up a 3, and his foot was on the line, but nevertheless, another jumper falls for Belgium. And these teams are putting on quite a show here offensively. Already 24-22, we're still in the first quarter. Olaseni bounce pass to Lawrence, and he makes the beautiful pass to Achara, who will go to the line for an and one.
That is some great basketball there. Backdoor action. See the help man dump it off to the big man, and he finishes strong at the basket through contact.
And it was Taboo who picks up the foul, so he will go out. And now we're going to see the man you were just talking about, Manu LeConte.
So LeConte obviously played University of Miami as well as Baylor. And do not let his size fool you. He is a very, very strong point guard with a strong ability to score as well.
Look at that, 67% of their points in the paint. Great, Belgium, 75% for GB. They're doing a great job passing the ball. Now the pass went off the hands of Pierre-Antoine Gillet. And, this GB team that everybody really has kind of, it seems like the respect factor for them has gone up as the summer has gone along, showing why they've earned that respect. And Ferdinand calls the foul, goal 3. Ferdinand Pasquale, actually at the Asia Cup in Egypt this summer. And what is it about this GB team? I mean, they have scouted Belgium well, haven't they? I mean, they are getting a lot of stuff going to the rack.
For sure, and besides Dan Clark's three-point shot, pretty much everything has been around the key. And Belgium really needs to figure out how they're going to prevent them from getting to the basket so easily.
Lawrence misses the first, makes the second. Still 7.7 seconds for Belgium. They're going to push it up quickly. Van Rossum over to Gillet and takes a shot with a hand in his face. And great hand by Achara there in the face of Zoe. And Great Britain winning a high-scoring affair here. Look at this. You can see right there. Great camera work shows the shot clock, the game clock rather, has already expired. It's 26-24. Josh, the stats really, the free throw shooting for Belgium is impeccable. Good shooting percentages really for both of these teams.
Yeah, what's interesting is that Team GB was known coming into the tournament as a threat for the three-pointers, but they've really made a focus on taking the ball inside. As you notice, 14 shots at two-pointers as opposed to 6 for Belgium. And if you're able to punish a team inside, there's no reason to take outside shots.
Well, this Dan Clark, one of the passes inside to Olaseni, and it's a high percentage shot, and they're getting him. They're getting even more with the dribble penetration, drawing the defense and finding the open man.
Yeah, and that was great patience as well by Olaseni. As we take a couple looks here, some other highlights. Obviously, early on, Tumba was able to make his presence felt on the offensive glass.
And what has to be encouraging for GB as well is they've brought some guys off the bench, and they don't seem like they've missed a beat. If anything, they've picked it up.
Yeah, everyone's been contributing. That was a very, very good first quarter of basketball, considering it's the first game of the tournament. You'd expect a little bit more nerves, but just wasn't the case.
Second quarter action underway here, and it's turning into a real good one. Great Britain up by 2. Murray back into the game. Here's Mockford. He cuts, hands it off to Clark. Now it's Clark's turn. And good work, good footwork, but not the finish. Now Van Rossum for Belgium. Saron has 1-3, misses that one, and good side rebound from Lawrence. Lawrence puts on the deck again and gets fouled. Now it's a foul on Lecomte.
I think it might have been on Saron. Well, no, you're right, it was on Lecomte. That's 2 early fouls.
2 fouls, and yeah, he got him with a hand check. I guess he was already driving. So he gets to the line. And Andrew Lawrence has been tough, hasn't he? Putting the ball on the hardwood.
Yeah, I think he wants to take advantage of the experience that he has and understands Lecomte might be young, might be quick. Lawrence is he's not too shabby either.
I'm impressed by his physical build, Lawrence. He's strong. He makes both free throws. And now it's Great Britain by 4.
So Belgium putting Lecomte off the ball here, letting Van Rossum bring it up.
Antoine Gillette, and rips the twine once again for 3. It's a timely shot from him.
Very confident looking shot too, just catch and shoot.
Well, they are shooting it well. In fact, they're just 3 of 10 from deep. But as you said, shooting it well inside the arc. Here's Clark, turns, puts it up, and off the glass. And looks over at the referee, says, "Give me some love, ref. Give me some contact." But this is a man's game. You're not going to get that call.
Nice turnaround jump shot, though.
Bezoy for 3 again. Same spot. Somebody's got to get over there, and he ties it up at 30. Boy, they're smoking right now. Put the gun back in the holster.
Would you say this is some great offense or maybe some less than stellar defense going on here?
Well, that was some bad offense. That was an offensive foul. I think it's a little bit better offense. The foul was called on Mockford. And Luke Nelson re-enters the contest. So 2 fouls on Mockford. Remember, Kyle Johnson has the 3 fouls. He's on the bench. And Antoine Gillette stepped out of bounds. How many times does that happen these days? I mean, it seems forever that players are stepping out of bounds when they catch the ball or when they make their move.
Spatial awareness. That is one thing that you can't really practice. You just have to know.
Clark dumps it to Achara. And Achara, what balance! Incredible job by Achara. Looked like he was falling down, but was able to compose himself and put it off the glass.
I'm very impressed with Dan Clark's passing here so far in the first half. That's 2 very good high-low assists that he's had now. Again, on the catch, the big man is showing a lot of patience. As you see here, he could have kicked it out to the corner, but he understood he had a size advantage and finished over the smaller Saron.
And Achara puts Great Britain back up in front by 3. Remember, these 2 teams played a vital game at EuroBasket 2013 in Pennsylvania as Lecomte goes out. Salumu comes back in. And that Belgian team won a very close game and ended up advancing in the tournament. Great Britain did not. It looks like we got another close one here.
Well, I actually spoke to Coach Joe Prunty before the game just about that. He mentioned the fact that game was close throughout and Belgium was able to pull away. So he expected this game to be close, and he's been right so far as we go back and forth with some really quality basketball so far.
There really a lot for people in both countries to be excited about their national teams. coming out and being ready to go from the opening tip. Van Rossum hits the three-pointer. Goodness gracious.
Again, he's been a staple, been doing this for Belgium for years. And he can give you, points, rebounds, assists. He does a little bit of everything for the Lions.
Nelson gets it to Clark.
Defensive intensity seems to have picked up a little bit on this possession.
Clark behind the arc, puts it up and in. And I'll tell you what, I mean, he was under pressure. I'm not sure what Eddie Castilles is mad about because that was a very difficult three made by Dan Clark. He certainly had the height.
Yeah, we've talked about good defense versus bad defense. That was good defense, just better offense.
Van Rossum, another three. Good! We have got a shootout, folks, in Istanbul right now between Great Britain and Belgium. Both teams at a very high level going back and forth from deep.
Don't leave him.
Dan Clark feels Van Rossum on him. Good footwork again from Clark and uses the glass. Just composed himself, was not in a rush. And that right there, folks, is experience.
So Dan Clark, the first player in double figures here today. 10 points. I don't think he's missed a shot yet.
Saron drives in. Oh, he uses the glass. That was a tough move from Canton Saron.
You mentioned the depth. That's 6 points now for Saron off the bench.
Lawrence pulls up from deep. Nope, hands it over to Clark, and that's going to be short. Just grazed the net.
I think the Zoe might have got a piece of
Oh,
that
and they've
one
called an
actually.
unsportsmanlike foul on Dan Clark. And I don't know what you think about that, but that's a tough call. Unless they think if he didn't make a play on the ball. And this is, look at this. So he's going to reach in.
So there were players back.
Clearly wants to stop the break. There's no question about that.
That's
But
a tough call.
that's a
tough
tough call
there.
on Dan Clark.
Tough call. He's also, you can see he's exhausted. He's been putting in a lot of work here in these last four minutes and a little bit here in the second quarter.
And you can see what Joe Prunty thinks about it. And, it's okay if you're going to make that call. You make it. You just make it both ways.
Look, down here, again, they've hit some tough shots, but we got to press up more, all right?
And you can hear.
Press up, make them drive it. On the switches, if we call switch, it's a switch, especially with...
Just got to have a guard on it. Keep an eye on it later on, okay? You read it, you nail it. Après, toi tu tournes, tu sors, l'écran, l'accepte. If you don't have, you pop from accept, all right? Hey, go, come on. Go away.
It was interesting, going back to what Prunty was saying. They're hitting some tough shots, but you still got to press up on them.
Right, and what's interesting is he wants the Belgians to drive to the basket. Obviously, that's the way they've built this lead a little bit the tie game is by getting to the basket. But he doesn't really believe that the Belgians have that ability to get all the way to the cup and finish. And that's something we did see in practice yesterday. They were struggling to finish around the basket.
This is a chance for Belgium to take advantage, and the way they're shooting free throws, it's a big call. It's a tough call, but again, these things do even out over the course of the game. So Van Rossum has been pretty darn good coming off the bench. It's quite a luxury to have him to come off the bench. I mean, gosh, they've had some really good contributions from Dezoy, Saron, Van Rossum.
Yeah, very balanced scoring here so far for Belgium.
Now they've got a chance to up the lead.
And there's a switch that Castilles was talking about. They want to take advantage of it, but Ravel unable to hit.
Gareth Murray into Olaseni, and a foul called before. And must have been a reach from Ravel. What's this? There's bumping. Oh, no. Called it before that.
A few touch fouls here for Belgium.
13 fouls on Belgium now, 2 on Great Britain. Lawrence again takes the contact and makes the shot. I mean, he is tough.
And that is not an easy shot to be driving left get bumped and then shoot it with your right hand going back towards the basket. Lovely runner there by Andrew Lawrence.
And Coton Serran's like, what more can I do? Stan Clark and the British bench just applauding Lawrence. Doesn't make the free throw, however. Still shooting it pretty well, GB, 6 of 8 from the line. Salumu. Belgium, however, a perfect 12 of 12 at the charity stripe. And Wema loses the ball as he makes his move. And now Lawrence back to Murray. Left open, he says, don't mind if I do, but comes up short. Looked like he had a nice rotation on it. Nice release, just short. Here's Salumu, and his is off the iron. And a foul called on Belgium that time, contesting the rebound. So that's, you talk about how these things even out. I mean, there's not much more than Mwema could do there. Here it is again. Look at this. Oh, he grabbed his shirt. That's what it was. We didn't see that.
As he got slapped in the face at the same time, unfortunately. Tough call for Mwema.
Well, 5 fouls sends Achara to the free throw line. This has been one of the most fluid offensive games that I have seen in international basketball for a long time. I mean, both of these teams really putting the ball in the basket.
And then everyone. It's not like there's just one guy who's on fire torching the other team. It's everyone who seems to should be shooting the ball is watching it go through the net.
And you have to think with these other teams in Group D, if they're watching this game, they're thinking to themselves, okay, these teams might be a little bit better than we anticipated. Certainly Great Britain. There's 2 of...
And that's all you can really ask for is, you know, there's statement games, but in the tournament, pretty much every game is going to be a statement game.
Oh, Gillette just nails the three-pointer. Just such a quality shooting performance from Belgium. 7 of 15 from deep. That and their free throw shooting is what's getting it done for them. They've got more 3s than 2s. Murray pulls up at the line, and he answers. And Great Britain back in front by 1. What a contest.
Nice little pull up there by Murray.
Dan Clark back in the game guarding Gillette. Now left open. Herbel misses badly. And Luke Nelson almost lost control of it. Gives over to Murray, into Olaseni. And he turns a short little jump hook and gets a little bit of love from the rim. And Great Britain face a little bit of adversity, but they come right back and take a 3-point lead. Timeout, Eddie Castiles in Belgium.
And it's interesting, as I mentioned, I talked to Prunty before the game, and he wanted that kind of early offense transition. That's one of the few times we've actually seen it. And Olaseni, again, running the floor.
Again. Outside shooting, outside shooting, outside shooting, and nothing else.
See the shooting stats?
Nothing else. That's one. And in defense, gentlemen, I told you, if you want to play the offensive game with them, it will not come. We gotta accelerate in defense.
With 4 and 5 in the middle, okay, up the touch with
Look at
4
the
and
bench
5
scoring.
in the middle. On the side, we're with ice 4 and 5, okay? If they get downhill, then we can do it. But they're slipping out of everything so much. Stay with our guy. Everybody got that. Just for a couple of possessions, see how it looks. So we're not switching right away, all right? Here we go.
Josh, I got to tell you, I'm impressed by Prunty. I mean, he has planned this game to perfection.
Yeah, he's done a great job getting his team ready for this game, and they're just executing. It's coming down to that. They're just executing. They're moving the ball around. They're playing, solid defense, obviously forcing Belgium to take some tough shots. And, Belgium's settling for 3s. They've made 7 of them, and that's kind of what's kept them in the game so far.
Jay, those preparation games, crucial for a team like Great Britain. And just from a confidence standpoint. Oh, look at Gillette. Drives in, and how about Mwema for the follow jam?
That's a way to get your first basket of the day.
He was a little bit upset about that foul call. Look at this. Goodness me. Now Clark, and misses everything. And Van Rossum collects it. I heard Castile saying we don't want to get this to be an offensive game with Great Britain. We got to step it up defensively. And Marie picks up the foul. But this is...
You got to get a body on him. There's nobody boxed out. And, of course, Mwema, if you look at the scouting report, this is what he does. He crashes the glass hard.
Now the Lions, Salumu. And again, Mwema. Offensive rebound and putback for the second consecutive possession.
We saw it early in the first quarter. We're seeing it again now. GB failing to box out on guys crashing from the outside.
And that time, Lawrence, you can see Clark was shielding his man, but Lawrence has to step over. And now they show they're human at the free throw line by missing their first attempt.
That was the first miss, isn't it?
So it's Belgium by point, and then look at that move from Okarefor. Just kind of fooled Van Rossum, didn't he?
Yeah, he felt him on his body and just realized if I just slow down my steps, he's going to go right by me. And able to finish composed.
What a contest. Now Mwema, the man of the moment for Belgium, hands it off to Salumu. Van Rossum for three. Good! They are smoking. 8 of 18 from deep for Belgium. Boy, Van Rossum has just absolutely been on fire. It's a perfect 3 of 3 from deep. Now Luke Nelson looks for some space, dribbles around, kicks it over to Lawrence, kind of fumbled, and then he was fouled by Gillette.
Just a little off balance there on the closeout. Not able to get low enough, and he knows Lawrence wants to attack the basket.
Well, that was a great play by Nelson. He could have gone all the way. In fact, you almost wonder if he should have. And Lawrence misses his second free throw of the game, the third free throw. Wow, so he's struggling. Makes the second. Yeah, he's 4 of 7 from the free throw line.
Still getting to the free throw line. That's something that Andrew Lawrence has shown he's been able to do here today. Draw fouls from the Belgians.
Van Rossum says, I'm not missing right now. But he does miss. But look at that. And Mwema once again goes up, gets an offensive rebound, and this time draws the foul. Boy, he is. The rebound is the statistic of desire. He's showing you right now he's got a lot of desire.
And that's the 8th offensive rebound for Belgium as opposed to just 1 for GB. So we talked about it early on, and Toomba's back in the game now alongside Mwema. That's going to be really tough for the British to box them out.
On the other hand, Great Britain making a lot of shots. I'm not sure how many offensive rebounds they're out there for. He makes 1 of 2. So that's about the only good thing. Surprising when Toomba was in the game for so long, because he was quite effective when he was in. Oh, beautiful pass. And I almost thought they'd overpass there, but they still got another good look for Olaseni. He's got 10 points. Look at that, a perfect 5 of 5.
I'm really liking the way that Clark is looking for Olaseni. They have a nice little chemistry brewing there. We'll see if they can maintain that throughout not just today, but the whole tournament.
Some nice banter going yesterday in practice. Gillette hits a 3.
Wow.
9 of 20. I mean, somebody get some water and pour it on Belgium. They are just blazing from deep.
And Gillette probably has been Belgium's most consistent player throughout the preparation games. You know, he had 14 points against Spain in that big win 3 weeks ago. You can count on him. He's dependable.
Shot clock winding down. Clark has it. Steps back, takes the shot, and draws the foul from Mwema. A step back and just grazed the net. And in that situation, I mean, obviously, you know he's a good shooter. You want to get a hand in the face. But on the other hand, it's still a fadeaway jump shot.
And obviously, Dirk Nowitzki almost patented that shot, the one step, kind of step back. Especially for guys, you know, kind of above 6'9", 6'10". It's tough to contest. And all you can really do is put your hand up, but it's an unfortunate contact from Mwema.
Clark misses both free throws.
Good foul.
Yep, absolutely. He knew exactly what he was doing. Final minute. of the first half, the final 38 seconds, in fact. And Belgium with a chance to open up their biggest lead of the game after a couple of misses. Tumba over to Mwema. Van Rossum. And this time he's going to get inside. Over to Mwema for three. And this time it stays out. Oh, look at Gillette hustle and get the offensive rebound and get it back for Belgium. And he's not going to hold on to it. He's going to put it up. And Olaseni gets it. Maybe a mistake by Belgium to take the quick shot. Okorafor looks at the clock. Not much time left. And he hands it off to Olaseni. What execution to perfection by Great Britain and Okorafor. And they get it back to 1 at halftime. Look at this again, folks. Fantastic play by Okorafor.
Olaseni's just been living in the paint so far in the first half. Wow, just right place at the right time. Doesn't have to do much, but has a nice touch on the basket.
54-53, Belgium by 1 at halftime. Josh, I mean, the shooting is something for Belgium that is just phenomenal. I mean, 9 of 22 from three-point range, more threes than twos have gone in for them, and they've also made a living at the free throw line. And they're just really bossing Great Britain on the boards.
Yeah, if it wasn't for what I would call a below par defensive effort, Castells would be very, very happy with Belgium's first half here. And some great, very, very good basketball. Only 6 combined turnovers from the two teams. Great Britain did a great job of taking care of the ball. And they're just really doing a great job getting to the basket and feeding the big guys on the rolls. Everyone's just contributing. That was a phenomenal half of basketball.
Absolutely. We've got another phenomenal half coming your way. It's 54-53. Belgium on top of Great Britain at halftime.
Again, outside.
Well, 54-53, Belgium on top of Great Britain, and I have to say what has been an absolute barn burner of an opening game here in Istanbul, Josh.
Yeah, no team has been able to separate themselves from the other. Fantastic shooting on both sides, some very, very good offense, some unselfish basketball. Just a very, very good half of basketball being played here so far.
Yeah, but I mean, offensively, you can't ask for much more. And you asked the question, is the offense really this good, or is the defense contributing to it? And to be honest, you know, I think Joe Prunty said it all in that British huddle once. He's like, listen, you guys are being disruptive defensively, you're getting out on them, but you have to really press up even more. You know, they're hitting some tough shots. And I don't think anybody in their wildest imagination can expect this pace to continue for the second half.
Yeah, I thought there would be a bit of a drop in the second quarter, and that just wasn't the case. I mean, I'm curious to see it. Obviously, I think foul trouble might start playing a little bit more of a factor. You know, we mentioned some of the reasons why probably the defensive play wasn't as intense as it could have been is guys are getting some very, very, touchy fouls, kind of up and down. Obviously, Lecomte has 3 fouls. And a bunch of guys have 2 for Belgium, and then also for GB, Kyle Johnson has 3, and a couple of guys with 2. So
what's going to happen? I mean, obviously the penetration is just really causing problems for Belgium as Britain continue to get the ball inside with their dribble penetration.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen any, not a single block shot in that entire first half on either team. So rim protection could be a big issue for both these teams in the rest of the tournament. And teams want to exploit that. They want to get inside the lane and
go after it.
Not just get easy baskets, but create an easy shot
Down
outside as
situation.
well.
The back pick, and we read coming off that back pick situation. Just stop when you are 2 down and you want to change the screen and pin down for your guard. Use it. Talk about it. Okay? Get your matchup, gentlemen.
Yep.
Look at Joe Burton covering his mouth. Doesn't want anybody to hear. Doesn't want anybody to read his lips.
Can't hear you, Joe. Don't worry.
He's not taking any chances.
And what's interesting is despite the guards having some great play for GB, it's also been the bigs. Aracha off the bench with 10 points. Obviously, Olaseni with 12 and Clark with 10. They're just getting contributions from everywhere.
Second half action, what has been a real barn burner here in Istanbul. The very first game of Group D underway. Jonathan Tabou had a great start in the game back in. Sam van Rossum, who came off the bench, was terrific. He's back in, and they get it to Tumba early. And somehow, some way, Axel Hervel contested for that rebound. He was surrounded by blue shirts. And the bounce pass over to Olaseni, and now Tabou brings it back for Belgium.
That was his first miss of the game.
Well, that's how we're wondering if these teams might cool off, but really from distance, when you think about Belgium. And now Belgium really, you can see wanting to perhaps diversify their attack a little bit. Here's Luke Nelson. Murray goes baseline. Oh, what a no-look pass. And it gets it to Olaseni. What a play by Gareth Murray.
Yeah, way to drive the baseline and knows that the big man's going to dive from the top. And Olaseni, again, right place at the right time, every single time.
Absolutely, takes the contact as well, finishes well. Saran, back in front now. Tabou puts on the deck, gets inside, misses, and then Clark gets the rebound. And this time it's Okoreafor drives in and draws the foul. Olaseni asking for the basket to count, but I'm not sure if there was goal interference or not.
It's interesting because GB hasn't really done much damage from the outside, but again, Belgium choosing to not force guys on the help side.
Now, I think Olaseni was asking for the goaltending or the goal interference because the hand slapped the backboard. But I'm not sure if he felt like he'd done it, but the ball was already had no chance of going in. Anyway, only makes 1 of 2, and it's Great Britain. So the free throws becoming a factor in this game now. Great Britain just 10 of 16. Belgium much better, 13 of 15. Ziran, bounce pass, and Tumba called it, couldn't quite grab it, ends up getting it to Hervel.
An awkward possession there.
Yeah, it was awkward all the way around. Hervel's really the only Belgian, it seems like, that hasn't been able to get on track offensively, and he was the one that ended up with the 3. He's now 1 of 4 from three-point range, in fact.
Look at this foul here from Taboo. He's complaining to the referee, but he has both arms wrapped around him. I don't know about that one, Jonathan.
No, this is where I'm wondering, when they called the unsportsmanlike on Dan Clark, what's the difference?
Transition maybe, but yeah.
Definitely
transition.
transition.
Nice feed.
Dan Clark puts up a 3. It's good. And Dan, the man, drills another one. And Great Britain looking strong right now.
Of course, both these teams understand that this is a game that they have to win. You know, a lot of people have them, different places within this group, but GB understands that Belgium is going to be a good opponent for them.
See the 5 on the court for Belgium. Now Van Rossum, and the fight for the rebound down low. And you just have to say that with Tumba, Hervel, those Belgians and Wema, and even Dezeo, they're very difficult to keep off the glass. Look at this
activity.
But what more can you do if you're Luke Nelson in that situation?
Well, that's the thing. Prunty wants to switch a lot of these screens, and that's going to create mismatches on the offensive rebounds. It's hard for guards.
Van Rossum on line. This time it rims out. So now a couple not going for Van Rossum. And that ball, Dan Clark wasn't expecting it, and it leads to a fast break. And Okorefor called for the foul. So turnover leads to 2 free throws. That's 3 fouls as well on Okorefor.
Yeah, we got to keep monitoring this foul situation for both teams. And that was actually very good transition defense by Okorefor. I think the referee just assumed that he was going to foul. Tough call.
Yeah, tough call, especially when you pick up your 3rd in that manner. And you can see Okorefor doing a good job, not complaining, but certainly disagreeing. Taboo, and this is a good strong rebound from. You got to be strong with those Belgians crashing the boards. 3 minutes into the second half, and the intensity level is going up and up. Okorefor, and he gets it to Olaseni, and the jump ball, or is that going to be now a little bit of a scrap down low? And this is the intensity, Hervel and Olaseni. And now Hervel and Dan Clark, and they've called fouls, technical fouls on both. And you can hear Hervel saying, "I didn't touch you." And this is, I think that this is offsetting, though, isn't it? Because they also called one on Dan Clark. Well, Dan Clark, yeah, he does. He says, "Just protecting my guy." So they are
should have been
scrapping.
A jump ball originally.
I mean, that, Olaseni just kind of got wrapped up, didn't get up, and yes, there will not be free throws because they're offsetting. But that little sequence, as you look at Lawrence, look at this. Look at the intensity on the face of Hervel. Just, okay, so there will be free throws.
So I think on the entry pass.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, that's right. It was the foul that they
Even
called.
though I didn't really see the foul, I believe there was a jump ball, but
yeah, I think that was a little bit of misfortune for Belgium.
We actually saw the help defense for the first time. Hervel was in the right spot, maybe a fraction too late. But you're right about the intensity, Jeff. It's picking up here already.
It's picking up, especially on the boards and on the defensive end on both sides of the court. Ziran over to Taboo. And now they've got a little bit of a mismatch down low. Tumba, guarded by Nelson. Hervel puts up a jumper, and that was short, and good hustle from Olaseni.
That's now 4 threes that they've missed here already in the third quarter.
I believe this is the biggest lead of the game for Great Britain. Nelson stepped back, and tough shot from him off the back of the iron. And ball goes out of bounds, but a push has been called. Lawrence picks up personal. Clark and Gareth Murray will go out. There you see again Murray colliding.
And I'd like to see Belgium looking to get the ball inside more. I mean, they're being outscored 34-10 points in the paint here. And obviously, if those jumpers stop falling.
Well, Taboo's wide open. He's not going to say no, and it does go off the rim. And Achara back into the game, gets the rebound. Kyle Johnson also had those 3 fouls. And Lawrence now gets to the lane, drives, puts it up, tough shot. And now Van Rossum pushes it quickly for Belgium.
Yeah, 3 seconds.
And 3 seconds, they perhaps a little bit of help from the British bench there. I tell you though, Tomba's, you see, he's got a lot of potential. He takes up a lot of space in there, doesn't he?
Yeah, but Olaseni doing a great job of making the referee aware that he was camping out there for what seemed to be 4 or 5 seconds before the call was made.
Now DeZeo comes in, and he was a real problem in the first half for Great Britain. See what impact he has. Luke Nelson takes the bounce pass. What a play by Olaseni. The cut from Luke Nelson. Well, Olaseni just, the more and more you watch him, he's doing so many good things out there, isn't he?
A little bit of everything, obviously crashing the boards and scoring inside, but that's a nice give and go. Basic fundamental basketball, 2-man action.
It's one thing about the game, it doesn't change, is it? It's the basics.
Fundamentals. I think that's Nelson's first point since really early on in the first quarter. He got GB off to a great start.
What do you
cooled
think
off
about
a little
that
bit.
beard?
There's a lot of beards here.
That's it's a lot of facial hair, isn't it?
Yeah. There are a lot of beards in this tournament.
But is it aerodynamic?
I called it the James Harden effect, but apparently beards have been around for thousands and thousands of years.
Oh yeah. DeZeo open for 3, and he misses. And worrying signs for Belgium, who really rode that excellent first half shooting to a narrow lead, and inside to Achara. And what do they say? Belgium at 6s and 7s. Belgium have missed their last 14 attempts from the floor. That's not going to continue.
That's why halftime can always be just, very, very tricky, right? It's bittersweet. You get a break, then also you lose your rhythm, but Gillette gets it right back.
Gillette has been money in the bank today, folks. And now with 12, look at that, 4 of 6 from 3-point range. And that one was timely.
And we talked about it at halftime. He is not hesitating at all on these catches. He knows what he wants to do.
And that was a bad pass from Nelson right into the hands. And it leaves Van Rossum open. And he hits the jump shot. And turnovers lead to opportunities the other way. And Belgium take advantage and cut that deficit back to just 3 points. Great Britain called timeout. We're going to go over to the bench and listen to Prunty, and then listen in on Castile.
And it's interesting because, it's a game of runs, and you understand the momentum was shifting a little bit GB's favor, and now it's coming back to Belgium in these last couple of possessions.
Yeah, exactly. We can't leave Gillette. Okay, you take care of the ball. G, you got Luke. Let Luke blow here, all right? Hey, okay, little run here.
1, 4 side, 4 regular. That triangle that we talked about. Again, we created it. He was all open. Shooting from outside if it doesn't fall. Attack the line. Change it. Hey, come on. 1, 2, 3, Belgium.
You know, the Belgians have hit a couple of shots here, but in a way it just goes to show how the margin for error is just so small. If you're Great Britain, you can't turn the ball over the way they did on that last possession. It's going to cause problems.
And the thing, that's where those offensive rebounds in the first half kind of come in as a key thing, right? The more possessions you get, the more chances to score you get, the likelier you are to win the game. And GB, obviously, you know, on fire from the inside the arc, but you got to be able to keep the ball.
But look at this, you know, they've only turned it over 3 times today. Belgium only has 6 turnovers. It's been a good game from that standpoint for both teams.
But I'm always interested. Second half, you get a little bit tired, you lose a little bit of focus. You see a
Offensive
little bit more
rebound on
turnovers.
Hosseini goes up strong.
He's been a beast today. Absolute beast.
17 points. And, you know, that is an area where Belgium have been superior today. And this time it was the offensive rebound for Britain. And nice pass and penetration. Salumu to Dezo. To a 3-point game. Now the Beard has it. And inside, Achara drives. And off the hands of Pierre-Antoine Gillette. And it's a rare turnover for Belgium.
That's a tough pass to make in transition when everyone's running back. The angle is very, very tight. We see a little bit of backcourt pressure here from the Belgians after the replay.
Well, Andrew Lawrence has it, guarded by Taboo. Johnson gets it to Dan Clark. He's got Dizeo guarding him. And a little step back and short. He's a good shooter, but it's nevertheless still a tough shot, isn't it? Van Rossum, he goes down, lays it up and in.
1-point game, just like that.
Not a foul in Belgium.
It's going to be Taboo's 4th foul, I think.
Wow. Will he go to Lecomte or Saron? He's going to bring in Saron. I think he was trying to get him out of the game.
Taboo playing a lot with his hands defensively this last few minutes.
Yeah, he carried them offensively early, didn't he? And still only has 10 points. He's one of the veterans that actually played last summer. A lot of the guys took the summer off. And
yeah, he led them in the qualifying round in scoring, actually, Taboo. And you also saw Salumu and Dezoy were probably the 3 key players in the qualifiers.
Well, you can't say enough about that man right there, the captain, coming off the bench, 14 points for a Char. Look at that.
Yeah,
that is production.
I would say maybe a little bit of an unexpected contribution in some ways.
And now Andrew Lawrence steps in front of Van Rossum and picks up his 3rd foul. And that is the 5th foul on Great Britain. And that is potentially 2 points.
That's a veteran move by Van Rossum. He saw that the closeout was going to be late and decided to rip through, try to create space. If he had the space, he can drive. If he didn't, he draws the foul.
But you saw, again, going back to that timeout, look at the numbers for Van Rossum. Prunty saying you got to get up on him. So 5 assists as well.
Does a little bit of everything.
I mean, phenomenal. And you understand why he's been such a good player in Spain for the past several years. Just keeps getting better and better, it seems. He's had his injury issues. Now, Char over to Murray. That's a little bit off. And good D. Now Belgium with a chance. They are down by 8, and now they can go back in front. What a swing. Saron penetrates, passes it back outside to Salumu for 3.
And 1.
And fouled on the shot by Johnson, who's had a very, very difficult afternoon for Great Britain.
A potential 4-point play, and that's Salumu's 1st basket of the game. A catch-and-shoot 3, drawing the foul. And a great call by Van Rossum. Called the ISO for Saron. Saw a bit of a mismatch. Saron was able to create a driving lane, kick it out to the open man. And let's remember this. 1 minute and 31 seconds to go in the third quarter. 4-point play potential.
Look at the bench. Did you see the bench get into that? Oh, Salumu misses the free throw. He had the potential 4-point play. Johnson goes to the bench with 4 fouls. So it's Nelson, Lawrence, Clark, Chara, and Chara posting up. And Chara trying to get the call. Also Montford back in. Mockford, excuse me, Ben Mockford. Now again, penetration, and what a play from the veteran. Never a doubt he was playing this summer, even when he was having the operation. And you understand why. You wait to the very last second for somebody like Sam Van Rossum.
But what motivation to go through your rehab, right? Understanding EuroBasket, maybe his last chance to play. More than ready.
Puts up a 3, and you feel the momentum going now firmly in the hands of, or the way of Belgium.
A 12-point swing here, just the last 5 minutes. More free throws.
Indeed, free throws, the foul, Montford. Montford is number, only his second. Okay, I thought it was his third. It's kind of a tough call because it looked like also Salumu was kind of
a little bit of a push-off.
Yeah. Chara comes out. You know, that execution that we've seen from Great Britain has just kind of disappeared for the last few minutes.
Yeah, I think that's why Chara came out. You know, he doesn't need to be taking long threes right now.
Salumu makes both, and now it's a 6-point lead. I remember watching this game 4 years ago between these two teams. It was not played at this level. Much higher level this time in Belgium. Leading it. Now Montford puts up a 3. And Bourasini kept it alive. What effort. And again, you have to wonder about the shot selection. 13.4 seconds left. Surely they're going to hold it for one shot. They're going to try to anyway. Hands it off to Lawrence. Looks at the clock. Drives in and tries to get the contact. The ball goes out of bounds. Still over to Great Britain. And Lawrence is like, I'm not going to get a call. Driving to the basket. It's
good defense by Dezoy. Able to backtrack without fouling.
Just because there's contact doesn't mean you're going to get it. Oh, they step back, get it to Clark for 3, but that was short. Because they've asked for a better shot than that. And Great Britain, who were playing like a well-oiled machine offensively, suddenly having problems, and they're trailing by 6 with 10 minutes remaining. Josh, as we look at the numbers here, you're going to see that the shooting has cooled off considerably, really for both teams, but the free throws are a real problem for Great Britain. 14 of 22. They've left 8 points out there. But you know, Great Britain were leading when Kieran Achara hit a jumper, made a layup with 4 minutes and 38 seconds to go, 63-55. And since that time, they've scored just 4 points. And meanwhile, the Belgians have just turned it up a notch.
Yeah, an 18-4 run in just over 4 minutes is quite impressive. And again, you mentioned his name a few times here today, Van Rossum, really the key. And he played that entire third quarter. High intensity, getting to the basket. Obviously 5 assists to go along with his 19 points.
Why? I mean, do you see it as a lack of execution for GB, or do you see it more as?
Yeah, I think obviously they were doing some really good jobs in the first quarter, in the first half. Sorry, getting the ball inside, and I believe Eddie Castile made an adjustment defensively at halftime in the locker room, and forced these guys to shoot perimeter shots. They haven't shown they can knock it down consistently.
Okay, fourth quarter underway here. Belgium getting a lot more joy going to the basket themselves, and then Gillette pushes off on Olaseni as he was getting ready to go up for what looked like an alley-oop.
Yeah, very dangerous pass there by Luke Nelson.
It looks like Olaseni limping a little bit after that foul. It's a physical game. Great Britain have really had to turn it up a notch to match the Belgians. Certainly
Great ball
boards.
denial. Great defense. That
And
is great defense. by Sam
offensive
Russell.
foul. Moving screen. The foul.
I think it was
on
a
Lawrence.
push off here on Lawrence.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Trying
Sorry,
to get
it was.
separation.
Yeah, it was.
And the veteran, maybe, you know, added a little bit to it. Prunty knows that.
But you got to be able to play it for 40 minutes at that high level. Okorafor now comes back into the game for Lawrence. And now the ball, a little bit of miscommunication there. That entry pass. And somebody needs to step up and make a play for Great Britain. And Luke Nelson penetrates, drives, scores! Puts it up off the glass.
And Nelson has been doing much of his damage going to the basket. That time on the left-hand side, still able to finish with the right hand.
Now Saron gets in, puts it up at the line, and foul on Okorafor. What a way to pick up your fourth.
And that's tough as you're boxing out the bigger guy, and the ball just happens to bounce in a way where it looks like you created a foul. You see here, it's, oh, never mind, he's holding him. He's holding him.
Belgium trying to turn the screw. Deseo, good, the three-pointer.
That puts him in double figures now with 12 points.
And Salumu playing D on Nelson, picks up the foul. That's number 2. Great Britain getting a lot with their penetration today, but they've got to start getting some stops as well now. I just saw Nelson get to the basket. He's going to try to get it back from Clark. And Clark again now going to get down low and was short with the jump hook. And really Belgium in the ascendancy here. Gillette gets in the lane, passes back outside to Deseo.
Good
pump fake. Steps back for 3. And Great Britain rode their luck a little bit that time. Okorafor gets it down low to Olaseni, and Deseo picks up the foul. It's 3 now in Belgium. You would think the free throw line is going to come into play here for Great Britain.
You see Olaseni again, just running down the middle of the floor, stopping in front of the rim, and turning around looking for the ball. And it's causing trouble for the Belgians all game long.
Muckford for 3, good! That was a good shot, feet set, right in the flow of the offense.
That's Mockford's first contribution here today.
From offense, certainly. And now, Taboo. And Deseo trying to box out down low. He gets the and one. And are they going to call the foul on Nelson or Okorafor? If it's Okorafor, he's out of the game.
That's a great inside pass, 2 by Gillette.
It is on Nelson. And they are just, if they were killing Great Britain from outside in the first half, they've really gone to town on them here inside. And the lead goes back to 7.
52 bench points so far for Belgium. That's an incredible statistic.
It is. Although you would normally think Van Rossum would be a starter.
Very good point.
And the ball goes off the hands of Okorafor.
You see the Belgium bench, every single player and coach off their feet. On their feet, I should say.
Well,
not flying yet.
tell you, they should be flying because the way they've been playing here, they really are close to lowering the boom on Great Britain. It's the most adversity Great Britain have faced without question in the game. Taboo hoping to get the foul. Hadn't been calling that either side. And then Okorefor gets it to an open Nelson, and he puts it up and in. They really have let him drive to the basket, haven't they? Without any calls. So you see Nelson.
Yeah, Salumu fell there in the backcourt, leaving Nelson wide open.
Cerrone, 5-point game. Cerrone goes behind his back, between the legs.
A lot of dribbling.
Salumu fades, good! What a shot! And the three-point has come back for Belgium here in the fourth quarter.
He definitely bailed Cerrone out, over dribbling for about 6-7 seconds.
And look at the hustle from Taboo, almost comes up with a steal. Well, you're thinking right now, if you're Great Britain, we can't play any better defense than that. And Salumu hits a fadeaway three. Look at this again.
Contested as well. Big shot by Jean Salumu.
And Mockford says, what else can I do? The hand is up. Three-point shooting, Belgium surprisingly down to 13 of 33. It seems like they've had more, but GB with only 4 of 13. And that time, great defense from Deseo. I think Okorefor trying to do too much. And Gillet off the back of the iron, but the ball bounces out kindly to Salumu.
Now time and score becomes a key thing here for Belgium.
Deseo
Good
open
shots.
again.
Another.
And Van Rossum also back in the game for Belgium, and you think that's, he's had a nice rest over there. So that does not spell good news for Great Britain. Salumu drives, puts it up, and a foul called from the ref out on the perimeter. Olaseni picks up his second. And good call. Went up and got him on the arm. So Belgium right now have got control of the game, and there's timeout. Remember, it was an 8-point lead for GB. There you see the points in the paint now. Belgium improving.
He pumps. Hey, and you saw he was all open, but they were again into that switch. He dives.
That's what it is about right there. Those second efforts. 16 offensive rebounds for Belgium. Leads to 14 second chance points.
He will jump switch into side.
And that's pretty much the difference in the game right now. An 8-point lead for the Belgians.
I'll tell you what, as shots go, you have to say, you go back to that third quarter, after GB, they had all the momentum. Everything was going their way with about 4.5 minutes remaining in the quarter. And Pierre-Antoine Gillet went down and hit a three-pointer. And really, from that point, it's been all Belgium.
It really has. And, you know, again, contributions down the line. Zoe coming in with 15 key points off the bench, hitting big shot after big shot. And then Salumu in this quarter alone, 2 threes from the same spot on that left wing. Just helping them build a little bit of a comfortable lead here, but not too comfortable. There's still a lot of time left to be played in this game.
Well, he can certainly, you might call these free throw daggers if he makes them. Take them up potentially to their biggest lead of the game, 10 points. This is their biggest lead, in fact, 9. And Belgium playing as well as perhaps we expected them to coming into the EuroBasket.
I'm actually very interested to see if Castile stays with this lineup as this closing lineup potentially.
Okorefor finds his way, and a block call from Deseo. Terrific play. Okorefor thought he had a layup.
And what a time to get your first block of the game for Belgium.
Deseo now on the baseline. Passes over to Taboo. Hand in the face. And a foul. And they're going to call a foul Murray.
Again, GB struggling to box out Belgium's bigs. They are just going after the ball in any single shot.
Look at this.
That was close to a goaltending, but the timing was just right.
Look at it.
By DeZoy.
Yep.
Still on the way up.
Perfect. Great no call by the refs. Just excellent timing. You're right.
Don't challenge me.
DeZoy just continues. And all that experience that we talk about for this Belgium team, EuroBasket after EuroBasket, making it back time after time. And that experience has really come to the fore when you see the likes of DeZoy coming off the bench and having that type of impact. 18 points.
And he's played in some of Belgium, Europe's biggest leagues. Obviously the BCL last year for Oldenburg, Basketball Champions League.
There's Dan Clark, and fouled by Van Rossum. And Rossum didn't like that call.
Clark's been pretty quiet the second half so far.
Yep. So any more fouls now for Belgium and Great Britain will go to the line. And Taboo thinking that ball should have been Belgium's. Gareth Murray's going to inbound it. He's going to try to anyway. So good D from Belgium. And they do get in bounds this time to Lawrence. Pass out to Okorea 4. Shot clock winding down. Lawrence has to chuck one up, and it's long. And a foul. They're going to call it on Olaseni. The hold. And it really has, the challenge has just kind of dissipated here from Great Britain, hasn't it? Oh, good call by the ref. You got to call that.
GB only with 21 points in the second half after having obviously 53 in that first. So we kind of predicted that they were going to cool off a little bit, but Belgium consistent. A little 5-minute spell in that third quarter, they were a little cold, but the rest of the time has just been on top of their game.
And Gillet makes both. He's been great. Look at that, 14 points.
Quick question for you. Who would you give the game ball to so far for Belgium? They're getting just everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's possibly Van Rossum or DeZeo. Even
Gillet, obviously.
Gillet hit that huge shots. Yep. And Lawrence takes the shot and don't want to foul the jump shooter. You can hear Prunty asking for an unsportsmanlike. But they did call the unsportsmanlike on Dan Clark in the first half. I think he's going to try to get anything he can get at this stage. Lawrence makes one. Great Britain have had some problems at the line, and there's another one, but Clark gets it back, turns it into a three-point trip down the floor. Well,
offensive rebound and a free throw.
Back to an 11-point game. Now Salumu. Nice shake and bake. Passes back outside to Gillet. Now Taboo. Belgium content to take some time off the clock. And they are going to count it. And one coming for Taboo. And Lawrence fouls out of the game.
That is tough. Able to run down the shot clock, run in isolation, draw the foul, and finish the basket.
You know, we've been saying that they haven't really been making that call on the penetration with the contact, but you got to tip your hat to Taboo. He goes hard to the basket, and yeah, there was a lot of contact. And does not make the free throw. Clark going to launch a three, and off the rim. Great Britain trying to get it back quickly.
A little bit of pressure here in the backcourt.
You might have seen the Serbian team watching this game. They'll be up next, taking on Latvia. That's going to be a terrific, terrific game. Here's Taboo. Over to Gillet, inside, and good help from Murray, but not able to. Oh, the ball goes off of Belgium. Looked like it went off GB. You can hear Dezeo over from our position saying, I didn't touch it. Watch this.
Well, we'll see if the replay agrees with them. Well,
I think he touched it.
Touched it a little bit. Touched it enough to go out of bounds.
Never believe a basketball player, ever. And that includes you.
Harsh, harsh.
Back to Clark, open, feed set, and knocks in the three-pointer. And that just about keeps Great Britain in it, gets it back to 10 points.
I'll tell you what, a couple more stops here. There's a lot of time left in this fourth quarter.
See the difference, was already there. And nice release from Clark. Now Gillet from deep and answers, and I'll tell you what, these guys can shoot it. I mean,
5 threes.
5 of 8 from three-point range. Clark, baseline over to Murray for 3. Olaseni keeps it alive. Luke Nelson. We thought we would see his three-point shot come into play today. It really hasn't. Okorea 4. Over to Nelson again, and again, can't get it to go. Clark decides, well, we'll just bank this one in for 2. We're wasting too much time.
4 chances on that possession.
Look at that. I mean, Dan Clark, 20 points. So he's gotten his numbers up there. Here's Taboo, drives in again, and another foul has been called.
If we take a look at this replay, we're going to see some pretty poor help defense from the British, as no one was even watching the ball. And Taboo, experienced as he is, saw that as Murray's going away from the ball. And again, fundamental defense, ball you man, you should always be able to see the ball.
Well, that's where they've really done their damage in the second half. I mean, they've hit some threes, but they've had a lot more penetration, a lot more drives. And now they've called a timeout.
Get it close, all right? These points are important. So we got to get good possessions, get stops, push the ball, all right? So no matter what happens over this next 2 minutes, hey, we're trying to win it, but we got to make sure it's close no matter what, all right? We're just going 77, all right? But I want it up the floor, so we got to be in back picks. Gareth, you're going to be here, Ben and Luke, okay? Ben here, Luke here, okay? So that Dan
Again! Hand off! Step back, you're gonna be over, right?
Well, it was very interesting. I mean, anybody that covers international basketball will know this, but you know, you have the potential of tiebreakers coming into it in group play. And Coach Joe Prunty is saying, listen, whether we come back and win or not, we've got to manage the margin of defeat. Right now, we're down 13 points. We need to get this closer in case we get into a three-way tie with Belgium.
And that's happened at GB already in the past, where they were not able to advance to the next round because of the tiebreaker and the point differential. So lesson learned there for the GB team.
But it's not looking good right now because Taboo at the line and stretches the lead to 14. Now Montford in the game.
Nice
Quick pass to Olaseni, and he puts it up. And you know, but he and Clark are going to walk away here, having had huge games offensively. But Great Britain, see that move. Great Britain not able to capitalize. It doesn't appear with the W today. Van Rossum, Gillet for 3. That's awful. And Olaseni goes up with another rebound. Now Nelson passes into the corner to Murray, and he's going to go up and The lesson from Coach Prunty, the words have been heeded. And now Nelson reaches in and fouls a good free throw shooter.
Would you have bet that Belgium might be the first team to score 100 points in this tournament?
I might have a bet that Belgium might win the group.
That is a good bet.
I mean, they are good.
They're a very, very solid team. Very well balanced.
But that said, I mean, you got some other good teams. Certainly Serbia, even without some of their guys, are going to be tough. Here's Taboo, makes the first one. Yeah. Would I have a bet that they're going to reach 100? Did you ask me?
If the first team to reach 100,
sorry.
the first team in the tournament reach 100 points.
That's interesting. Well, obviously, I didn't have that bet, so. But the thought didn't cross my mind, to be honest. And now the offensive rebound and possession will remain. And now Nelson is fouled out of the game. What do you make of his performance today?
You know, he had a bright start, very, very bright start. Almost, you know, set the tone for GB being able to penetrate and get to the basket at will. And then, you know, he came out of the game very early, and I don't know if it took him out of his rhythm, but didn't really get back into that groove that he first had. And, you know, I know he has better performances up his sleeve for the rest of this tournament. That being said, you know, he still had 14 points. Sorry, 11 points. 11 points for Luke Nelson tonight.
I'll tell you, this game has had a little bit of everything, hasn't it? Got a little scrappy there. Had some adversity for Belgium, down 8. They've come back. I mean, there's a spell where they didn't miss a shot, it seemed like. Yeah, look at that. And now the full court pressure.
That's just great coaching there by Castiles.
He also is aware of that goal differential, and he wants to get it up as quickly as possible. Taboo over to Salumu, and the rebound collected by Gillet. Tizeo drives in uncontested, and Prunty calls timeout.
Century mark for Belgium in their first game.
But the way they played this thing in the first half, I mean, we're not surprised. I mean, they were just really scoring, but then it seemed like they hit that dry spell in the third quarter, and you wouldn't have thought that they would get to 100. But then again, they had 73 points at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, 14 three-point shots. That'll go a long way for you, and obviously GB only able to knock down 5 three-pointers. And to be a team that's shooting from the perimeter and then still out-rebound the opposition by 15, you know, that's the balance I was talking about. You have the weapons on the outside, but then you have the bigs inside as well.
What we wanted. All the rest we don't need. Hey, and don't you dare to react. Okay? All right, team? Finish your shot clock. Read where the pressure is off, and you take it to the middle. He's there, you go to off guard, and so on. Communicate. Let's go. Come on.
That was just way too easy. And Tizeo, you just can't say enough about his performance today.
And again, a lot of this, well, pretty much all of this, is without any contribution from Manu Lecomte, the dynamic point guard who, you know, wasn't able to really get into any kind of rhythm today. You know, didn't even take a shot.
And how about Mwema? I mean, he was incredible when he hit that spell. Those were huge putback dunks, putbacks from him. It's tough to get minutes in this Belgian team, isn't it? Because he hasn't been able to get back in the game. Mockford on the baseline, hits it, and nice shot from the number 3.
You know, it's a great problem to have, as you just mentioned. You know, you can play guys who are playing well, but obviously this is a select team. The coach has picked 12 players who he feels confident about.
And he's got a lot of experience on the floor right now, including this man, Van Rossum. And the foul down low. You know, how do you respond to this defeat if you're Great Britain? I mean, you still got...
Well, you got to take away the positives, right? Where, you know, Olaseni gave you a lot of great inside play. You know, Dan Clark obviously scoring 20 points here, but they're going to need just more consistency ahead of the next games. Kyle Johnson back in here.
And Mockford has it. And the next game for Great Britain will be Turkey, so that'll be in front of a packed house, you would imagine.
Just extending the game here a little bit longer as we see the Serbians in the tunnel getting ready to come out for their game against Latvia. Two of the most exciting teams in Group D coming up here next.
Yep. The game will tip off at 5 p.m. local time here in Istanbul. So back to an 11-point game. And Belgium try to get that last basket to help their goal differential potentially. And Great Britain will try to get a stop. Taboo goes in and scores! And takes it back to a 13-point lead. And Prunty shakes the hand of Castiles, and the white shirts shake the hands of the Brits. Those two countries not too far apart, separated by a little body of water. The body of water is Belgium. Win it 103-90 over Great Britain.
Thank you.
Well, there you see the stats, and I don't know if you can see, but still some jawing going on there with Hervel and Olaseni. So we'll perhaps these teams will meet again after it's all over. That's how bad it was. 47 rebounds for Belgium, 33 for Great Britain. That was huge. And again, as you look at the overall numbers, the turnovers, not too bad really for either team. DeZeo had the 21 and 7, and Russell the 5 points to go with his, the 5 assists to go with his 19 points. And just a terrific opener for the Lions.
Yeah, no question. DeZeo and Van Rossum both coming off the bench to just break the game wide open for the Lions.
And honestly, these guys are not bench players. I mean, these guys could start. You would almost expect them to start. Maybe Van Rossum would have if he didn't have the injury issues.
Yeah.
So it bodes very well for Belgium in this FIBA EuroBasket. And in many respects, the pressure is off of them because they did get that early win. But then again, you don't want to relax. You need to get as many wins as possible. You know, you've got crossovers as well. If you keep winning, you want to get in those top 2 positions.
And obviously, both teams will be right back at it tomorrow afternoon. As we take a look at the highlights here, Van Rossum with a big second half.
They'll be back in a couple of days. They'll be in training tomorrow, I would assume, although maybe Belgium. I think they'll give them the day off. So you've got, let's see here. Yeah, I was wrong, actually. You're right. They are back tomorrow. So Great Britain will play tomorrow night at Turkey, and Belgium will be up against Latvia. So they've now got a chance to watch Latvia play.
And who do you think they'll be looking out for Latvia? If there's one guy, look out for Latvia.
Well, I'll tell you what. Porzingis or Bertans?
I believe his name is Kristaps Porzingis.
And what about if you're Latvia watching that? You're like, goodness me, they've got a few options.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, you know, Porzingis obviously in becoming a superstar in his own right, global superstar in many, many ways, obviously playing for the New York Knicks. But, you know, strength has always been something that, you know, people have pointed to for him. And one thing we saw from Belgium in this display was they are a very strong physical team. and they're not going to back down from any challenges. And obviously people have Latvia as their dark horse in this group, or just actually in the tournament in general. So I'm really curious to see that game. But obviously first, this matchup between Serbia and Latvia will not disappoint.
Well, for me, what most impressed me today about this Belgium team, don't forget the Belgian women. They got third place at the FIBA EuroBasket women, and have kind of almost raised the bar, so to speak, for Belgian basketball. Of course, they hadn't played at a EuroBasket women for a long time, whereas this Belgian men's team has been at the EuroBasket. This is their 4th consecutive appearance, but this is a team clearly that has aspirations of doing something at this tournament, and you could see the way they fought through the adversity and came out and got an impressive win, and comfortable almost in the end.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting. Belgium has been growing as a sports nation a little bit over these last couple of years.
Well, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching 103-90. Belgium winning it over Great Britain. More action coming your way.